zero reason that our team, Lord willing, we stay healthy. We're expected to compete in every single football game, and we had some difficult breaks last year go against us. So it's our turn this year for them to bounce our way. And don't forget, adding back also not just to those pieces, but our special teams, adding Alex back, who was 100% in field goals my first year, and that I think that's going to be another thing that helps us in those tight games.
Left side, third row. Hugh, on the subject of Jackson, what did you see out of him from like a leadership perspective that made you want to bring him here this summer?
Well, I think it's twofold. In January when we return, we always let our players elect our leadership council. Jackson was just getting there, obviously wasn't eligible to do that. But through one spring semester, and we re-elected in June, and our team, he was one of the leading vote getters. And so you combine that with the fact that if I really want him to be my guy, then he's got to be my guy, and he's got to do it here. And that doesn't mean, listen, I love Deuce Knight and Ashton also. I think we've got an incredible quarterback room. But I think making sure he is confident that we believe in him is one of the other reasons, that and the combination of what he's done in a short time to become a leader.
Right side, third row.
Hey, Hugh. Johnny Condon, ABC 3340. In Birmingham, we had a chance to watch Jordan Crawford an awful lot at Parker High School. I'm interested to see what his spring has been like, and have you ever had an impact freshman defensive lineman that projects as well as he does?
It'd be hard to say that I've had one as a freshman. Probably Robert Kimdichie when we signed him. He was one of the top players in the country. But Jordan's strength and explosiveness is special, and he's very difficult to handle. And we've got a really good center in Connor Lew, and Jordan is a handful. And I was telling people earlier, I'm really like the depth of our interior. Do we have the guy that has already put up the enormous stats in this league? No, but I think we really are 6 deep there that have, and I think Malik Blockton can be really special, as a young kid, and Autry and Jordan, but they're just young. But we were able to bring in a few older guys that have experience too, that that they're really going to have to buy into, give me my 15 to 20 plays and let me get it done, and buy into that kind of rotation there.
In the middle, third row.
Hugh, talk about the difference in opening the season with a team like Baylor compared to maybe the last couple openers for you, and how much you think that could affect fall camp, or how much you've seen it in the spring, have an impact?
I think it's that game's vital. So it's important to our season to get off. We're going to be playing in a difficult environment against a really good football team that's well coached by Dave Aranda. So when you put all of that on paper, the importance of it, there's no question that our focus throughout fall camp should be heightened. And this is not a game that you open up with and you sleepwalk at all and expect to win. And that sense of urgency should be seen all throughout camp as we get ready for that one. So I kind of get excited about that, and I think our kids will follow.
Right side, fourth row.
Coach Freeze, Thrift Behringer, Sports Visions out of Columbus. I know there's a lot of hype surrounding how talented the receiving core is, but I want you to talk about that offensive line led by Connor Lew. What's your expectations with them, and how excited you are about this group that's the best it's been in a couple of seasons?
Well, you said it. That's what I believe. I think it's the best it's been since we've been here. And Connor is an anchor of it. He and Jeremiah Wright, and I know those guys now, and so I believe strongly in them, and Dylan Wade, who are all some of the guys we brought in that will formulate that interior, and being able to get Too Tall back for another year, added to bringing in Mason and X. I'm with you, and then we like these young kids, that a couple of them will probably going to need to play. You very seldom get through a year where everyone remains, totally healthy at that position because of the wear and tear that the body has. But so we'll need to develop some of these younger guys. But we can roll our top 7 to 8 out there and feel really good about them.
Front row.
You brought Connor, Kellendrick with you. Those are two guys that have a pretty special part of this because they were kind of the first couple of guys that you really went after in a recruiting cycle. How special is it to have those guys here and be leaders after winning those battles that first December?
Yeah, I was talking to, I think it was, John Cohen was reminding me and some others, that first year we had, 2.5 weeks, and we took a big jump in the recruiting rankings, and largely because of Kellendrick Faulk and Connor Liu and Kaylee and there's others, but those two were kind of the bell cows, in the rankings for sure. And to have those two guys, trust us, knowing us 2.5 weeks, says a lot about Auburn, truthfully, and them wanting to be in that environment. And then our coaches did a good job in a short amount of time of convincing them. But those are two, of the first, and I'll tell you, they were also both what I consider to be reasonable in, look, this is fair. Come and earn your way, and you'll be blessed. And heck, both were, I guess, freshmen All-SEC, I believe. And I think their experience at Auburn would be one that they would say has been very transparent, very authentic, very genuine, and can't wait to play this year.
Second row and middle.
Jerry over the third AL.com. Coach, you've been doing this for a long time. Would you say this fall is one of the more important seasons of your career?
Man, I embrace the expectations of Auburn. You should have them there. And I think every season you should have the expectations. But the exciting thing now is I really like this locker room. And, I like the kids. I like coaching them. I like our staff. And I think we are primed. It's time now to be in every game and then start finding a way to win them by doing the little things better that we didn't last year.
Left side on the aisle. Hugh, you and John Cohen have kind of mentioned y'all's game plan right now with pertaining to August 1st and things like that. But what is your message in particular to this recruiting class, maybe about some of the recruiting slides you've had of late?
Yeah, we're very transparent, maybe to a fault. But we're obviously operating under what we believe the intent of the settlement was, and we're really straight with them. Our interpretation is we can discuss with our our prospects, their portion of a revenue sharing model, and that's all that we can really promise right now, and that's the way we're operating. And I assure you that our administration will have a plan to change if that ever changes, but we believe that to be, the way it's designed, and we'll see where that goes.
Front row.
Coach, going back, Tony Reese, WCVM. We talk about the progression of the Freeze Four from last season. Of course, guys like Cam, Bryce, Perry, now adding additional Eric Singleton with the wide receiver core. Just kind of what you're really expecting from them this year. Just kind of how have you seen these guys progress now?
I just need help figuring out how to get them all the ball. That's going to be the biggest challenge because they're all so dang talented. And they all have different skill sets and do things a little bit better. And, if you're throwing an RPO to a one-on-one guy, you want Cam Coleman doing that, and you want Malcolm running this route, and Eric and Perry, and you add Horatio to it also. And, it's a very talented room. And you got to figure out a way, though, to get certain guys the ball that can make plays with it, and you got some in that room, whether it's Malcolm and Eric in the run game or screen game or whatever you have, or whether we got to design a shot here. And, obviously you design great shots if it's the right coverage, and you got to have you can't have the mentality of, hey, we got Cam Coleman, so we're taking this shot and we're going to throw a post into a one-high look. You don't do that. But you have to have those ready to be called, because you've got to give people like Cam and Perry, these big guys, the opportunity to go make those plays, and then figure out a way for those skill guys like the Bryce and Eric and Malcolm to do the things they do.
Left side, second row.
Tyler Shaw with KBTX and College Station. I know he didn't get a lot of playing time, but Mike O'Reilly, a tight end that transferred out. Just what kind of potential and what kind of player do you see in him?
Yeah, we didn't want to lose him. We thought he had a huge upside. He's an athletic, big guy that just got really caught behind Rivaldo and Luke and B. Frazier. It was just a deep room, but I think he's got great potential.
Two final questions. We'll start on the right, and then we'll go back in the back on the left.
Toby Rowland, KWTV. Coach, because of the way last year went for Jackson, is there scar tissue that you've had to work through with him mentally, or did he show up with confidence and swagger?
Yeah, the judge of that, I think, will come. I actually we are doing personality tests for our entire building, and I really enjoyed studying that on Jackson and myself. And the owner of the company kind of came and sat with me and went through my coordinators and the quarterbacks and gave me his ideas, and I thought he was brilliant. I really do, and it helped me a lot understand how Jackson and Deuce and Ashton, how do they need to be coached by me? Because I can be, as he pointed out several times, I can be that Michael Jordan side of you got to get this right. Why didn't you get it right? Instead I probably need to be more of the Scottie Pippen sometimes with some quarterbacks. And I think it's helped Jackson and I and Deuce and I, because I know even when I see them right now, I saw him sitting out there, the things that we discussed in that meeting immediately popped to my mind about, all right, what is it that Jackson needs to hear from me right now? Or what is it that Deuce or Ashton? And I need to do the whole team. I just don't know that I can, my memory's that good, but it's been very helpful. And I think he had to regain confidence. And I think that we've taken a lot of steps toward that, and I feel really good about that right now. Ultimately, I don't think there's any way you're going to really judge it until we hit the field. But he's got the swagger right now and the respect of this football team and a great understanding of our offense.
Final question, left side.
Coach, Auburn at times last year struggled to convert red zone possessions into touchdowns. What are the keys to reversing that?
Yeah, I've said publicly, in our study of why we weren't as successful as we wanted to be last year, what are the pieces to that? And started with turnovers, we were dead last. Then you go to red zone scoring, which you just referred to, and critical downs on defense and kicking game, not being successful on the field goals we needed to be successful on. And so we spent extensive amount of time studying. First, you look at us as coaches. How do we coach it better? Are we running the right things against the right looks? And so you look at our part in the lack of success in that area first, and we did that all spring. And then you go and add more pieces to the roster that give you a better chance to at any place succeeding. And so again, you start with you as a coach. How do we coach it better? And stay and be better in those critical areas that decide the games usually, and then add to the pieces that can help make those plays successful.
Coach, thank you very much for your time. Good luck this
Thank you, guys.
Questions, left side, back row.
Dan Peck, ESPN 106.7 in Auburn. Jackson, when you went into the transfer portal, you had a lot of options. What was it about Auburn that made that the right decision?
Yeah, I think early on, the coaches were immediately texting me as soon as I entered the portal, or as soon as that day opened up for the transfer portal. They were the first ones that texted me, communicated to me. Almost all the offensive coaches texted me early on, and not only that, I think like a day later, I hopped on a Zoom call with them all, and they kind of laid out everything for me, showed me my fit in their offense, our offensive depth, depth in the team in general, not just offense. They really prided on their defense, and housed a bunch of young guys last year, and all those guys are coming back this year. And I think that, with the depth that we have and the coaches we have and the scheme, the offensive scheme that fits me so well, I thought it was a perfect fit for me.
Right side, second row, then pass it forward.
Hey, Jackson. Johnny Condon, ABC 3340 Sports up in Birmingham. Coach Freeze was up here earlier and said how he had everybody on the team take a personality test so that they could best be coached. I'm interested what it went into that, how you like to be coached, and do you think that's a beneficial thing for the guys on the team?
Yeah, he did have us take a personality test. I took mine on my official visit, like one random morning. And I don't know if he used that as like a weeding out tool for the transfer portal, but obviously there's something about it he liked. So, yeah, I mean, I do like it for coaching. You know, he wants to see what personalities fit him and his coaching style. And, you know, if that fit's not good, then, you know, don't grab that guy out of the portal. So I completely understand him doing that.
Left side, third row.
Good morning, Jackson. AP Stedham, AP as we see it. Jackson, what did you learn from your experience at Oklahoma that you're bringing to Auburn? And what can you tell us about the receiving core that you found on the Plains?
Yeah, you know, last year was tough. Obviously, not ideal whatsoever, but, you know, I think perseverance was a big thing that I learned last year and kind of fighting through the tough times. And, you know, we did play in some big games last year, and so now I fully understand, you know, what it's like playing a long SEC schedule against some good teams and, you know, playing in those tough games where it's extremely close and you have to kind of grind it out. But I think last year taught me a lot, you know, being able to persevere and really sticking to those tough games. And, you know, coming to our receiving core this year, obviously it's a bunch of studs out there. I'm not even going to name them because we have too many, but I'm super excited about this group. I think they're going to produce a lot in the field this year.
Right side, front row.
Jackson, Ike Jones with the War Report. You say that this scheme was a good fit for you. This is your now fourth offensive scheme that you've had to deal with. Kind of what about this scheme is something that you feel like is a good fit, and what's been the most difficult adjustment in the transition to Auburn?
Yeah, the biggest thing Coach Freeze sold me on with the scheme was one, the RPO game, and two, the deep shots. And you know, that's something that I've been doing a lot since high school and even my first couple of years in college. Was huge in the RPOs and huge in the deep shots. You know, Coach Freeze isn't scared to push the ball down the field, which I absolutely love. And, you know, I thought that with my experience running the RPO game, you know, I think it meshed well with what Coach Freeze was wanting to do with his offense.
Back row in the middle, then pass it forward one.
Jackson, you were in the same sort of seat last year at Oklahoma. What do you think it is about your personality, and what did you accomplish there to be able to become a leader so quickly? And what have you now done, you think, at Auburn that made you a selection here? And then Freeze also mentioned you were one of the top vote getters, becoming a member of the Leadership Council at Auburn.
You know, honestly, I think it's just really experience. This is about to be my third year of college. I've played a full year. Played a full year of SEC ball, had it under my belt, and, you know, I think the guys on the team respect that. But not only that, I feel like I came in and really wanted to establish myself early on and made sure in the spring, like, you know, everyone knew that, you know, I was going to take control of his team and lead them. And, you know, I thought I did a pretty good job of that in the spring. And we initially had a leadership council when I got in the spring and I wasn't on it. And, you know, I made sure that was one of my goals was for the summer to be on that leadership council. So.
Fourth row, then pass it two to your left.
Nick Wiggins, Mobile, Alabama, WNSP. When Oklahoma became a part of the SEC, did you have a kind of welcome to the SEC moment where you thought, man, this league is different, like everyone says? And then I'll also ask, from that moment till now, what aspects of your game have improved the most?
I mean, we were playing. I remember walking out against South Carolina. God, dude, like their D line was unbelievable last year, and so I'm like, gosh, dude, like these dudes are their D line was absolutely huge. Like, you got freaking 6'6", looks like twins on the outside edges, and you know, they hit hard that game, and they had a really good defense. I think that was probably the biggest welcome to the SEC moment.
Right side, third row.
Trevor Denton, Way 31. Just where's your confidence at right now compared to when you finished up at Oklahoma?
Yeah, my confidence is extremely high right now, and, you know, I credit that to my whole teammates, man. I think having their respect and their trust and going out and doing what we did in the spring, you know, I feel like the offense had a really efficient spring, in which, you know, instilled a lot of confidence in me, but at the same time, like, knowing that those guys have faith and trust in me to, elect me for something like the Leadership Council, it gives me, a lot of hope and a lot of confidence, and that these dudes really believe in me and really want me to lead them this year.
Fourth row.
Jackson, coming from Oklahoma to Auburn, which team and fan base is there more animosity towards, Texas or Alabama?
It's a great question. Honestly, OU Texas, there's a lot of hate, but I feel like the people here just cannot stand Alabama. It's unbelievable. And OU Texas is very similar. It's not far off. I feel like those two rivalries are probably the two best rivalries in college football. But I feel like if you mention Alabama here, somebody will kind of look at you funny. It's pretty funny. We even have a rule in our facility, you can't wear red in our facility at all. If you do, you lose points and you have to do up downs and stuff. So.
Right side, third row.
Julian Mitchell, WVTM 13 in Birmingham. My question for you, I wanted to ask, from a year ago to now, just how do you feel from a mental standpoint, and just how good has it been to be at Auburn and maybe have a fresh start here and do something special here at Auburn?
Yeah, it's been great. I think this offseason was good for me mentally, just kind of being in a new place and, like you said, getting a fresh start, being around new people, new coaches, new players, new scenery too. Honestly, I think Auburn's beautiful. It's a great scenery. I think for me mentally, I need to be in a new spot, to be around some other people in order to thrive. And I feel like, God put me in a great position that I'm in right now, and I'm super excited for this season.
Last two questions, here and then here.
Hey, Jackson. Lindsey Bonner, WAKA in Montgomery. Jordan Hare is known by many to be one of the best environments in college football. How excited are you to start playing there this fall?
Extremely excited. We did play there last year, and it was, as an opponent, it was unbelievably loud in that stadium. So the only thing I'm sad about is I won't be able to see the eagle fly pregame, but super excited about playing there.
Final question.
Jackson, you guys open with Baylor this season. Can you feel a difference, or you think you might be able to feel a difference, preseason, through the summer and into fall camp, about just kind of the focus and the intensity when you're going to have to be sharp to beat a team like that in week one?
Yeah, I think, I don't think just because it's Baylor week one that we would prepare any different. But, obviously Baylor's a very good team, and it's going to be a great test for us. And, I think things are starting to ramp up now. We're starting to get into game planning and starting to get into film study and stuff like that. So it's definitely starting to ramp up. But we'll prepare the same every week, it's the hardest game on our schedule, and we just try to go 1-0 each week. But I am excited about playing in Texas on a Friday night, just like high school. So,
Jackson, thank you very much. Good job. We welcome Kellendrick Faulk, and he is ready for your questions. We'll start over here on the right side, third row, and then pass it to your right.
Hey, Kellendrick, Johnny Condon, ABC 3340 in Birmingham. Coach Freeze was up here earlier talking about he's giving everybody on the team a personality test. I'm interested, have you taken one of those yet, and what that entails?
Yeah, I took a personality test, and it was just to see what kind of person that you are, and really just to figure out a different way to approach you whenever something goes wrong.
Trevor Denton with Way 31. Also, he was up here talking about how he's embracing high expectations for this team this year. What are your expectations for what this defense could be, how good it can be?
Yeah, I feel like our defense could be the best in the country, in my opinion. We have so many guys that played last year that was young, especially in our secondary. Our secondary was containing mostly freshmen and second-year guys. So I feel like everybody has another year under them, and really that's another year of maturity. So I do expect a lot out of our whole defense. We should, at the end of the year, be the best defense in the country.
Right side, second row.
Ike Jones with the War Report. Kellendrick, what's it been like this year? It's your third year, but this year your brother's there with you. What's it like having him on campus with you this year?
Man, it's just like it was in high school. He was my brother is my best friend. So, just having my best friend back in the same area as me is one of the best things in the world. Is what I dreamt about having, and it's been a dream just having him up there just with me every day.
Left side, and then pass it to your left.
Dan Peck, ESPN 106.7 in Auburn. Keldrick, a lot of the vocal leaders from last year's team have moved on. They're out of eligibility. How has your role changed, and where else is the leadership coming from the defense this year?
Right. So yeah, last year I was one of the leaders that led by example. So, like you said, a lot of them left, and they were one of the most vocal ones on the team. So I had to take over that role of just being a little more vocal, letting people hear my voice, because a lot of people like to say when the team hear my voice, a lot of people listen. So just keep going and leading by example, but also trying to lead the young guys and getting the transfer guys in adjusted as well.
Middle, back row, then pass it forward.
William Halliday, Auburn Undercover. Keldrick, could you talk about the impact Jordan Crawford has made on the defensive line and what you've seen from him this offseason?
Man, yeah, Jordan Crawford, man, he gonna be one of the most aggressive guys on our D line. I mean, he's a big guy, powerful, explosive, and then to be his size, he can move extremely well. So, I'm greatly excited just to have him on the team, and he's going to be one of the best players on that defense in the next coming years.
Middle, fourth row.
Keldrick, how have you sort of grown as a person over the past couple seasons now to where you are viewed as one of the best players on this team? People are talking about you as a potential first-round pick next year. I guess, how do you deal with some of those expectations internally?
Don't deal with it. Like I take every day and I deal with every day just like I've been doing. So, I don't worry about the NFL. I don't worry about any of that. I worry about the 2025-2026 season with Auburn Tigers.
In the middle.
Hey, Coach, it's Tony Reese, WTV. I'm out of Columbus. Man, we talk about it being in the same position just this time last year, now being back here. Clearly, you're looked at as a leader. Coach gives you a lot of praise. You were kind of being his guys. Just kind of what does that mean for you and to be in this position and to be looked at as one of those guys?
It means that my team has a lot of faith in me and a lot of faith in how I approach the game, how I lead them, and how much energy I bring to each and every person on that team. So I make sure that everybody is up to beat, everybody is ready to work, and make sure we have a very productive day, because we can't lose not one of them.
Middle, third row, and pass to your right.
Keldrick, Hugh's record since getting to Auburn, 11-14, is being trumpeted a lot. He's on a lot of hot seat lists. As one of the leaders of that team, as a guy that plays hard for him, do you take that personally? Do you challenge your teammates to make sure that he's taken off some of these lists at the end of the season?
Right. I mean, yeah, I do take that personally. Like, Coach deserves this job, and it's up to us now to not to keep this going. And Coach has put some of the best people around us, whether it be coaching staff, players that he's brought in. So he's brought in his own players, his own coaching staff, and now it's just up to us to go out there and execute.
Front row.
Keldrick, you guys opening with Baylor this year a little different than the last two openers y'all had. How much of a difference do you think that's going to make kind of in fall camp or preparation, or have you seen it kind of guys being maybe a little bit more focused, a little more energized, knowing y'all are going to have to be really sharp in week one?
Yeah, so yeah, Baylor is they're not a pushover team. So man, we coming in, we're opening up the week of fall camp just with a focused mindset. I mean, we're surely not gonna keep them in our main focus when we first start off, but man, we're definitely gonna prepare like we're playing them that following week.
Third row.
Just how much urgency have you felt this offseason to turn things around?
Sorry?
How much urgency have you felt throughout the offseason, throughout workouts, to turn this around and get that winning season that's been elusive?
Man, yeah. So when I came through high school, man, I was never used to having a losing season. So, man, and a lot of guys that come to Auburn, we never was used to having a losing season. So, I mean, just to get back to that winning way, our winning ways is vital for me. Like, I want to feel the to feel the drive just for at the end of the game, to know that we didn't put a team away, and for us to do that, we gotta be more consistent. I mean, we practice consistent. We have to work out consistent. We have to eat, drink, and sleep consistently.
Third row.
Ginny Duffy, Auburn on SI. There's been a lot of talk about the Auburn-Georgia game being cut. What's your take on that? What does that game mean to you?
She said what it was?
With the 9-game conference schedule, SEC's looking to expand.
They might take Georgia off your schedule. How would you feel about that?
Well, no, they can't do that. Yeah, they can't do that right there. Like Georgia is like one of the games we look forward to playing. So, we have to keep Georgia on our schedule.
On the right side.
Alex Bynton on 3. You kind of touched on it a little bit, but you're putting pressure on yourself personally. But how much pressure is actually on this team to have a special season there, year 3 with you and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I feel like it's a lot of outside pressure on us just because of the past 2 seasons. But I mean, man, I feel like our team is so much more confident than they were in the past couple of years. So, I mean, I don't feel like nobody on the team is overwhelmed with the pressure. I feel like we're embracing it because that's what we want. And I mean, our expectations for ourselves is even greater than the expectations that people have for us.
Final 2 questions in the back, and then right here on the front.
And Kellendrick up here for the second year in a row representing the pass rush. Where else is the pass rush going to come from for Auburn this year? Who else can you single out as a guy people should watch out for?
Man, Keiron Crawford, man, he gonna be one of them guys that gonna have a breakout season this year. I mean, he was one of the guys that came in later on in the season and gave a great pass rushing presence. And now, not him having that role of. Now he done played a year in the SEC. He gets a feel for it. I feel like now he's gonna take a huge step and just being a tremendous ball player.
Right here.
How different is this offensive line group than the one you've seen at Auburn the last 2 years?
Man, they're a lot more versatile. So we have a lot of guys that can play everywhere across the O-line. So, we man, and then those guys are long and athletic. Like our tackles are 6'8", 7-foot wingspans, and they can move pretty well. So I feel like our O-line is I think this has been the best O-line that we've recruited so far.
Squeeze in one more final question right here.
Kellendrick, I want to ask you specifically about Amaris. We heard from him in the spring how I guess more mature he feels like he's been and how big of a step forward. What have you seen from him? A guy plays a similar position, I know. What have you seen him grow?
Man, Amaris has grown in like every aspect. Maturity, physically, I mean, Amaris is like the way he approaches every day is a lot different. He doesn't approach it like a freshman. He approaches it like a 4th-year senior. So, I mean, he's gonna be a really good player this year. He's gonna contribute tremendously well, and man, I'm excited for him because he didn't get a lot of playing time last year. He got into some games, but he didn't get a lot of playing time. But man, he approached the off season. He approached the off season like a pro should, and if he keep approaching the rest of the off season, going into fall camp like that, man, he gonna do really great things this year.
Kellendrick, thank you very much.
Yes, sir.